All right, quite a week, quite a week. TF2 might be a little bit better this week because there was a 64-bit update, which is pretty cool. But hi, what's happening, Friars? It feels like it's been forever, even though it hasn't really been that long, and I don't know 100% why that is. I do have something that I have planned for this video, actually. This isn't going to be as stream of conscious. You know how I say that these videos are practically like a diary? Well, it's going to be literally a diary journal thing. Last weekend I got really into Evangelion for some reason. As though I was not the reason. And so I wrote about it as I like did it, and I just kind of like want to listen to it with you guys. It's only like 15 minutes, so yeah, I guess we'll just be going. April 15th, 2024, 9:34 p.m. Monday. Hi. I got some things on my mind and may make this into a video, so if the wording is strange, that's why. Today I finished Evangelion. It was a good series. I think people love it, and I can vaguely see why. The animation is beautiful, characters are well written, and thought through, if bland at times. And I haven't seen the movie, which is the actual definitive end of the original show. The actual end is the characters standing around applauding the main character's desire to live. Well, at least that's the ending of the show. I haven't seen the movie, but I know that Asuka dies. Not only that, but a lot of other messed up stuff happens. And I do plan on watching it once I find out how, but I haven't yet. And it's not like I don't have other things I should be doing. The video that was supposed to be uploaded last Sunday, or yesterday, lays dormant. Yeah. But despite that, I watched Evangelion and talked to my friend. I sung its praises while also keeping track of things that I found funny and made sure he knew both. After that, though, I watched videos on it and analysis on it until I stumbled into a video that I thought was interesting. It was a criticism of the show and how it's not all that people say it is. It's not all that and a bag of chips. And the video was fine. I skimmed through it, but what struck me was a comment below it. It said something to the effect of, this show was supposed to criticize escapism, but people just use it as escapism instead. And it really struck me. I tend to make stories of characters, of things I watch, programs, books, cartoons, and anime. It's fan fiction, lighthearted stuff to fill the crevices of my mind with dynamic stories of these characters that I no longer get to witness. Some instances, Luigi and Daisy locked in a distant relationship at a high school where drama actually matters because it's less a high school and more a political war zone of alliances between kingdoms. Sunny and Amori going through life as Amori has physically manifested and has started bringing headspace to reality, causing Sunny to need to not only to accept his past, but move on and forgive himself. Even way back when, the TF2 mercenaries go into the future to put Overwatch in their place, and I tried to do a similar thing with Evangelion, where the two characters that I think work well together get together in a healthy relationship. But I couldn't. I have standards for these things, and one of them is they must be written at least comparably to the source material. And no matter what I did, it didn't click. I tried merging Amori and Evangelion, and it kind of worked out, but as soon as Asuka is introduced, it becomes a caricature of itself. It stops obeying the standards, and since I really do at work, all I really do at work is think, I spent hours trying to make it work, yet it never did, because it never could. That's the thing. These two characters are broken away from each other. That's their entire point. And to remove that would defund the whole series, because it's escapism within escapism. Our dreams are not even good enough anymore. The hedonic treadmill, ever increasing in speed, bringing all of existence to exhaustion as it grows faster and faster. I like Evangelion, but I don't know why. For a lot of the show, I wasn't even looking at the screen. I don't think I really cared, and yet, because it's a classic, I like the show. Isn't that at odds with its existence? Am I denying and mutilating the purpose of others to fit my own view? Amori, a game about living in the moment and not in our dreams, is a game that I praise, and yet it stuck me in my thoughts, introducing it into my own headspace as a toy to occupy my mind, yet not to change it. I live in defiance with myself. I wish to actualize my dreams, admitting how crazy they are, yet I keep them as dreams, trophies to be held on a shelf, not lived through, not worn. Are they even real? What makes a dream real? Even now, writing this, I think of an idealized version of it. Even as I write it, I think of its future, how I can use it, how I can mold it to propel myself to seem more remarkable. Ooh, look at the kid who can write and talk. I sure do envy him. Yet, it's like we're all crippled. Crippled from the weight of dreams of nights before us, generations of people who dreamed instead of did, people that were so caught up in their own little paradise to notice the hell approaching. I live in a world that is dying. I live in a generation that silently acknowledges it may be the last. You could tell me that the world would end in my lifetime, and I would not be shocked. It seems like the world has been ending for centuries now. Millions of people too afraid to open their eyes, to see the carnage that they don't prevent, to see the lives that they don't lead. The absence of care that they promote only increasing exponentially as the seconds tick by. What, is it my fault? Everyone seems to say. It's like it's always out of our control. Anything we don't want control of, we don't want responsibility of, simply gets left to others. Surely some good Samaritan will come along and do what's best just because they want to. Cultivating with the internet. Hell on earth. Nothing is real. It's escapism actualized, monetized, and totally normalized. The internet is a cancer on the human mind, a plague upon a plague of nature, and yet I support it. I long for it. Everything I want is based off of it. I suppose not. It's based off of me, or it's built off of me, yet I dream on the internet. I escape. Not only do I escape my escape. I don't do work. Instead, I watch shows. But what's the sense if I regard video creation as work? Should I not do it for myself when I view it fit? Shows and games that I misinterpret, that I morph from their values to my own. It's a state of death, you know. To only ever live as something else. To be grasping for straws to realize they haven't been any for generations. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I don't see much point in giving philosophy riddles. It should be digestible, or at least consumable, yet I guess strange to swallow. After all, if you blindly accept new ways of thinking, are they new at all, or just mild continuations? I escape to YouTube in particular, in every sense of the word. I go to forget about everything, and I watch people that have done the same thing. Generations are getting smaller, and less time is before us. It's like when you're working on a project and you're making a title and you're writing a big word on this sheet of paper and you kind of underestimate the size of the letters, so you have to cram a couple to fit on the sheet of paper. And it makes sense. Truly it does. If we can't even appreciate a supposed classic like Evangelion for what it deliberately warns against, what chance does anyone have? There were signs that this was all a mistake. Loneliness, depression, isolation, and yet dreams work their best when no one is there to do anything but affirm them. I suppose it's also a lesson in persistence, right? Where if you keep going, you'll be here tomorrow, yet tomorrow won't make you invincible. You know, it's like waking up early. It's not doing it once. I can wake up early in the morning at least once. It's the persistence, life's persistence to keep me asleep, my desire to stay dreaming of a day I don't have to dream and I can just live. I'll never see the earth at its most beautiful. You know that? Any awe that I feel is only a fraction of its potential. But does that make it any less worth living? Should I base my existence off of external factors like that? Or just myself? To live and die by my own will is not a luxury I can afford. Since birth, we're taught about freedom, yet are chained to expectations of us. And they make us livable, yet we don't hold these expectations for the past or the future. Sure, we wish them better, but we hope for so much for them. I use Evangelion and Amori as escapism, not in a linear sense, but also in the sense of time. I long for this idealized time before I existed, because before I existed was before I suffered. It is ideal because I know the past's resolution. The past is safe and secure, with a beginning, middle, and end entirely dictated by me. It's the idea. It's the dream of the medium, not the substance of it. It's an unconsensual mangling of its morals, so highly idealized, I scrub it of its heart. I scrub the past of its meaning, and now I have no future. Good night. 4/16/24, 7:17 p.m., Tuesday. Man, what a coward. To think I don't care for the past enough. Life is beautiful. It's broken so beautifully. There are those who see how shattered the world is and cry that it will never be the same. But as for me, I like to believe that there's those who take that shattered world and make the most beautiful mosaic with it. Despite the cuts on my hands, it glistens so beautifully in the light of tomorrow. Who am I to deny the world of its majesty? The world at its most beautiful. I decide what beauty is. I choose fascination. I choose to dream, not because I long to sleep, but because I yearn to wake up in a tomorrow melded by my hands. Evangelion is beautiful, not because it's some deep story into a broken mind or a tale of philosophy and existence. Its mere presence, its notion to exist, promotes passion. People going day in and day out, waking up to craft beauty, to breathe these dreams into others, to spread a dream, to let others breathe, even if it's just for a second, and push through. The majesty of animation is the only medium where the mind is free of its shackles and allowed to explore the magnificence of life. To deny that would be a true mutilation of a work. To deny its existence, its passion, someone's love to be reciprocated is the point of a story being told. I love love. Love for life, for others, for ourselves. There's nothing more magnificent than deciding to look into nothingness and smile. Tomorrow is yet to happen. Tomorrow is yet to happen, and the past has already set to be. So the best thing I can do right now, I guess, is just to be. 4/18/24, 10:40 p.m., Thursday. So I just finished the end of Evangelion. Bro cooked. You can tell where the desire for a narrative and the desire for expression got blended a bit, and it was a bit cattywampus in my opinion, but still, it was good. I especially liked how literally insane it was. In all respects, as a creative decision. Also, talk about artistic nudity, am I right? No. In a serious sense, I can try and make sense of it for what the author wanted me to grasp, but simply, I don't care. It's clear he made the end for himself, so I'll follow suit and interpret it for myself. I genuinely did not intend the overlap between my previous entries and the moral of the movie, but I guess that's a product of being crazy, right? I really did like it, and while I can bark up a tree trying to dissect logic out of it or pretend like I'm some scholar that immediately gets it, I think that would be missing the point. Evangelion is a story about broken people trying to exist in a broken world, too wrapped up in what they want it to be, to do something, to make it something. and robots, also robots. It's a story on love, not necessarily romantic love, but the deep-seated desire to be wanted, to be seen by others and yourself. It's a cruel twist of fate that not even my reflection will notice me, and I respect that. It's not bashing dreams, it's simply a critical look on avoidance, on ignorance. I can dream and be awake, but when you're dreaming while you wake, that's where you have issues. At the end of the day, we kind of just have what we put out. We are only allowed who we are. And so I'll let this motivate me. I do have an idea of a story, but it won't be an easy one. But that's okay. Stories are for me as much as you. And I want to tell a story on how it only takes one guy being nice and caring to save the world. Because that's all life is. A complex domino effect of positive and negative reactions. And everyone says that they do or don't make a difference, but I want to really test it by seeing if I can make a believable story. I'm not sure how much Evangelion will personally affect me, but still, I'll say it's a good show.